If you're an intermediate guitar player that's struggled to play musical solos, things that sound cohesive with the song, and you've always been mystified by this idea of playing the changes, you're in the right place. I'm going to teach you to play the changes in 5 minutes or less. And we're going to roll a timer, because I'm not messing around. So what does it mean to play the changes? I'm not going to use the word right or wrong. I don't think that's very effective to describe music. But I'm going to use the word imply. Does what I'm playing imply the chord that's happening? Does it direct my ear in the same direction as that chord? Let's listen. So I'm in the key of G, and I'm going to play a single G chord on my looper pedal. And now I'm going to play a lick, and I'm going to land on this note, and I want you to tell me, do you think this note implies the chord or directs our ear? Let's listen. What do you think? Because to me, that doesn't really imply the chord. It doesn't direct me towards that G chord. It kind of butts heads. So here's a question. What does that note imply? Is my note directing me somewhere else? Where? I hear the D chord. When I play that note, I hear this chord. Do you hear that? Why would that be? Well, that's an A note. And that A note is in our D chord, it's not in our G chord. So what I'm doing, one way to analyze this is that I'm playing a chord tone of the chord that's happening at the moment. Or I'm not in the case of this A note over the G chord. So if A implies D, what do we play over G? We want to pick a note in the chord. So there's a B note in the G chord. So I'm going to play B over G, and let's see how that sounds. And that seems much more in line with my G chord. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put on a 2-chord progression, G to D, and I'm going to land on the B note over G to imply or direct the ear towards G, and I'm going to land on the A note over D to imply the D chord, direct us towards the D chord. So here's our new loop, G and then D. So there's G for 2 bars, D for 2 bars. Check this out. I'm going to play B and A. B over G, A over D. See how that feels more cohesive? I'm going with each of the chords. So I'm playing pretty simple stuff here, right? I'm just picking one note for each chord, and I'm just playing some simple licks. And that's the whole idea. You can play any licks that you already know over each chord by understanding what notes are going to direct your ear towards that chord. So our ultimate goal is to play a 4-chord chord progression, G, D, E minor, C. And we're going to pick a note for each chord. We're going to pick the B for the G and the A for the D. For the E minor, we're going to pick a G note, which is the minor third. And for the C chord, we're going to pick an E note, which is the major third. So we have a chord tone for each chord. So let's lay that down on our loop. G, D, E minor, C. And I'm going to play B over G, A over D, G over E minor, and E over C. And I'm going to fill that in with a lick. Following those chords, landing on my appropriate note. You hear how how it kind of feels cohesive? That's playing through the changes. I'm thinking more specifically than key or position or pattern. I'm thinking, does the note I'm landing on fit or imply the chord that's happening? Does it direct my ear in that direction? That's how you're going to get started playing the changes. So there's a PDF outlining some of these ideas and a backing track linked below, totally free for you to download and use as a practice guide. And that's your goal. 4 chords. Each one has a target tone you're going to try to land on because it's implying that chord. And then in between is where the magic happens. You fill in that space with licks you know or improvisations or anything you'd like to play as long as you get to the note over the chord that's happening. So hopefully this made sense and we got in under our 5-minute timer. Thanks for watching. Let me know if this makes sense in the comments or what you'd like to see on the channel. And I will see you next time for another guitar lesson.